Well, all right, Tony. Thank you very much, Larry. And you know what, Iron Mike? I would think that this particular matchup has got to capture the imagination and certainly the attention of El Patron, Mr. Eddie Guerrero, because I think you're looking at two potential draft picks of the LWO coming into the ring today on Worldwide.
Well, I would think on the surface that these would be two prime candidates for Eddie Guerrero to attempt to recruit to join the Latino World Order. We're looking at a pair of second-generation competitors, and that almost seems to be the norm when it comes to luchadors, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
This is Emilio Charles Jr. facing the masked Lizmark Jr. I can tell you there's a little interesting history between these two. You might remember back a little over a year ago when I went to Mexico City to document the history and the tradition of the luchadors and the sport of lucha libre. Emilio Charles Jr. was wrestling for a promotion called EMLL at Arena Mexico, and one of his fiercest rivals was Lizmark Sr., the father of Lizmark Jr. Of course, we've talked about the Lizmarks, the fact that they both are from Acapulco, the fact that they both were cliff divers before getting into professional wrestling, and that they can adapt so naturally to those high-flying moves because of their background.
I think it's also important to chronicle the luchadors when you speak of some of the arenas. I mean, here on this side of the border, we talk about venues, for example, like the Trans World Dome or the Alamo Dome or Nassau County Coliseum in New York or the Forum in Los Angeles. But when you mention Arena Mexico, that is on the same level as one of the major venues on this side of the border.
Well, you'd have to put it right up there with buildings like, as you mentioned, the TWA Dome, the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, talking about a near 20,000 seat capacity arena that so many of the stars through the years have made their home when it comes to lucha libre in Mexico City.
Thus far, it has been all Ariel and all Lizmark Jr. No count. Once again, Lizmark with a roll-up.
Well, unique roll-up, but Charles was able to avoid any attempt at a pinfall that time. Hurricane Rana.
Got it. Oh, nice reversal by Charles.
With that time, it was the power and strength of Emilio that allowed him to roll through, block the Hurricane Rana, try a pinfall attempt of his own. I guess we sort of anglicized Emilio Charles Jr., as he's known south of the border, into Emilio Charles here in WCW.
Yeah. In actuality, fans, his name is Emilio Charles. And I think out of respect, as you said, Mike, for his family and all those that are fans of the Lucha Libres and the Lucha Libre sport, the Luchadors, we shall call him Emilio Charles. That is his name.
Full extension of the leg as Emilio connects with the leg drop. Slow to follow up, however, slow to take advantage of the control that he had over Lizmark Jr.
We've got Lizmark Rock here. Wow, what a right hand by Charles.
Oh, took a page out of the Dandy playbook that time. El Dandy known for having one of the most lethal right hands in pro wrestling. But Lizmark able to fight back, scissors the leg, and then drops down with all of his weight across the knee.
And El Dandy throwing that patented right hand now on behalf of the LWO. Nice hangman's move by Lizmark Jr. Stunned Charles. But he fires back with a right hand. This guy is resilient and strong. Wow.
Scoop and a slam. Looks like Emilio ready for a high-risk move. That may be ill-advised. Oh, what a drop kick by Lizmark Jr.
When you go for a move like that, you better make sure your opponent is really compromised. And Lizmark was not.
Well, there you see a trademark of Lizmark and his father. The plancha, the flying cross body block off the top rope, a move that was originally invented by his father, Lizmark Sr.
Oh, look at that. Now, that was not a veteran move. Telegraphing it and allowing himself to be cradled.
Well, that was an absolute shock that Emilio Charles would be able to just put himself in that kind of a condition. The fact that he telegraphed the back body drop just opened it wide open that point for Lizmark to roll him up. And the second generation son of Lizmark Jr., Lizmark Jr. was able to get the 3 count.
Let's have another look at it here, Mike.
Well, there you see the roll through Lizmark Jr. using his feet to propel Charles. The hangman's noose neck breaker rocked his opponent. And that set it up for the plancha, the flying cross body block off the top as he connected onto the floor. Back into the ring, there's the roll-up in the win.
Well, guys, we have got a lot more action, a lot more information, and by golly, a lot more fun. Upcoming today on WCW Worldwide.